Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So today we are going to learn about valency. What is the definition of valency? Let's look. The number of electrons present in the outermost shell of an atom is called valency. That means, what do we say when we hear the word valency? That means the number of electrons present in the outermost shell of an atom. How many electrons are there in the outermost shell of an atom? That much is its valency. You may be thinking like that, but actually whether it is true, completely true or not, we'll be seeing in the next examples. We can also call it as combining capacity of an atom, because what is the combining capacity meaning? Combining capacity is the capacity which is the atom having to combine with another element to achieve the octet. Let's see what is an octet. An octet is the maximum number of electrons which can be present in the outermost shell. So an octet is the meaning is that the number of electrons which can be present in the outermost shell is called an octet. How many electrons can be present in the outermost shell? Only 8 electrons can be present in the outermost shell. Let's see with the diagrammatic representation. For example, hydrogen. What is its atomic number? Its atomic number is 1. The atomic number of hydrogen is 1. That means this is the nucleus and this is the first shell, and 1 electron is present in the hydrogen's atom. So now tell me, what is the valency of hydrogen? Whether it is 0 or 1. Yes, exactly. It is 1, because it is the number of electrons present in the outermost shell of an atom. 1 electron is present in the outermost shell, or this first shell is the outermost shell for hydrogen, because this is very small element. It is number 1, atomic number is 1, so only 1 electron. And this is nucleus, which consists of the positive charge, and electron consists of the negative charge, we discussed in the last class. So that's what with hydrogen. And coming to helium, 2 electrons are present. Why 2 electrons are present? Because the atomic number of helium is 2, not 1. Hydrogen, helium, lithium you say. So hydrogen's atomic number is 1, helium's atomic number is 2. So atomic number 2, it has 2 electrons. Helium. And helium, the octet is complete for helium, because in the first shell only 2 electrons are allowed. In the last class I told you one formula, 2n square. So n is the integer, the number of electrons present in the K shell. K shell is the first shell. So 2 into 1 square, 2n square, that is 2. In K shell 2 are present. K shell, the value is 1. The value of K shell is 1. You have to remember this. K shell means n is equals to 1, L shell means n is equals to 2, M shell means n is equals to 3, N shell means n is equals to 4. You have to remember these kind of things. So n is equals to 1, right? So this is the first shell. So 2 into 1 square is equals to 2. Only 2 electrons are allowed. So 2 are allowed and 2 are there. So nothing more. This is a noble gas, helium. And the octet is completed. It does not show any reactivity. The reason why helium does not show any reactivity is that it is very stable. That means the octet is completed, it is satisfied, it does not need any electrons, nor it cannot give any electrons. It is very comfortable with the electrons that it is having. That is why helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, all these kind of things, they are completely filled. They have completely filled outermost. So now let's see the lithium's valency. So lithium is atomic number 3. So its valency will be here nucleus, the first shell 2, and then the next shell 1. So in the outermost shell, what is the valency definition? The outermost shell is the valency. How many electrons are there? 1 electron is there. So the valency is 1. It is easier to lose 1 electron than to gain another 7 electrons to complete the octet. Am I right? So that is the reason the valency of lithium is 1. Now coming to hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium. So beryllium is 4. This is the nucleus, first shell and second shell. First shell 2 and second shell 2. If we remove these 2 electrons, then it achieves octet rather than adding another 6 electrons. It is easier. So that's why the valency is 2. The outermost shell has 2 electrons. So now coming to boron. Boron is 5. So first shell 2, second shell 3. It is easier to remove these 3 electrons rather than adding 5 electrons, because the total octet is 8 electrons. So 8 minus 3, like 8, to get 8 there are 3 here. You need to add 5, you need to add. It's very difficult. Rather than that, you can just remove these 3 electrons. So that's why the valency is 3. Boron's valency is 3. Carbon is atomic number 6. So first shell 2, second shell 4. 8 electrons. Even if you take out 4 electrons out of 8 electrons, you will get 4 electrons. Otherwise, if you remove these 4 electrons also, you will get 4 electrons. Still the valency is same only. The valency of carbon is 4. So coming to nitrogen. Nitrogen is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So is it easier to remove these 5 electrons or to add another 3 electrons? Yes. If you add another 3 electrons to the outermost shell or orbit, you will get 8 electrons. 8 electrons means completing the octet. So that is why the valency of nitrogen is 3. Because here there are 5. If you add another 3 electrons, you will get octet 8 electrons. Always we have to see that octet is the main thing. To achieve the stable configuration, that is the octet configuration in the outermost shell, like you need to have these 8 electrons completely filled, then the chemical reactivity is very less and also negligible. That is why the noble gases, they have fully filled atomic orbitals. So that is the reason why they don't react with other elements. So now coming to oxygen. Oxygen is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the valency is 2. How? Because rather than removing these 6 electrons, it is easier to add 2 electrons. If you add 2 electrons, this is to these 6 electrons, you will get 8 electrons. So the valency is 2. See, here there are 6 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you get another 2, you will get completely stable octet configuration. So that is the reason why the valency of oxygen is 2. Now coming to fluorine. Fluorine is interesting actually, because see, the atomic number is 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So rather than losing all these 7 electrons, if you get another 1 electron, you get 8 electrons. There are 7 here total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only see the outermost one. What is the outermost one? This is nucleus, which contains the positive charge, protons, and then this is the first shell. So this is the second shell. Okay, there are only 2 shells here, but you have to see the outermost one. What is the outermost one here? The outermost one is the second shell. So in the second shell, if you see, there are 7 electrons, and if you add another 1 electron, that means if this fluorine gets another 1 electron from any other atom of another element or the same element, then it completes its octet configuration. So always you have to see how can we complete this octet configuration. So that is why it needs only 1 electron. It needs only 1 electron. So that is why the valency is just 1 of fluorine. Now coming to neon. It is atomic number 10. That means it is in the 10th position in the periodic table. If you want to see the periodic table, I will leave a link in the description down below of a picture of a periodic table. You can just go and visit there. So now coming to neon. Neon is 10. It's simple actually. The first thing is first shell, only 2 are allowed. Why only 2 are allowed in the first shell, if you ask me? In the last class we have discussed about 2n square. And also those who did not watch the last lecture, I'll leave the link in the description down below. Please go and watch. So 2n square. In the n is an integer. Quantum numbers. 2 into 1 square. First shell, show 1 square. So 1 into 1, 1. 1 into 2, 2. So only 2 are allowed. If it's the second shell, 2 square into 2. 2 into 2 square. 2 2 shell 4, 4 2 shell 8 electrons are allowed. So that is how you have to remember this formula. Please write down in your notes. And also the notes is given for each and every video. Right from the day before yesterday, I am giving notes for each and every video. So just click on the Google Drive link down below in the description and take my free notes. So this is the formula. You have to keep a note of this formula. So coming to another elements, before going there, let us solve some questions of NCERT which are very important. Write the distribution of electrons in carbon and sodium atoms. So here in this question is asking the distribution of electrons in carbon and sodium atoms. As you have already seen, I have solved the carbon one. Now it's up to you how do you solve the sodium one. You must be wondering, yes, sodium, it may be a bit difficult, but it's not that difficult actually. It's very, very easy. As you all know, the sodium, the atomic number of sodium is 11. So you have to remember the atomic numbers. At least until 30 or 40 you have to remember the atomic numbers. So coming to sodium. Sodium is 11. So again, nucleus, first shell, second shell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only 10 are there. So what do we do now? The 2 shells are filled and the atomic number of sodium is 11. We need another 1 electron. What will we do now? Yes, exactly. We will be adding another 1 more shell so that another 1 electron can be accommodated in the third shell. So this is the third shell. 1 electron is added. Now you tell me one question I will be asking you all. Whether is it easy to add 7 electrons to this third shell or just to remove this 1 electron of the third shell? Yes, obviously. Removing an electron is easier and much more easy work than adding 7 electrons for an atom. So that is why this 1 electron will be removed when the reaction happens between 2 atoms of the same atom or the same element or the different elements. So the valency of sodium is 1. Now I have told you the reason why the valency of sodium is 1. It is because in the third shell there is only 1 electron. So it is very simple to remove 1 electron rather than adding another 7 electrons. Because why I am saying rather than adding 7 electrons? Because in the outermost shell, always remember there should be only 8 electrons, not more than 8. So that's how sodium got its valency as 1. So now let's look at another question. If K and L shells of an atom are full, what would be the number of electrons in the atom? This question I have repeated actually in the last class also. I have solved this question. Those who did not watch the last class, you can just solve the question over here. I am reading it out again. If K and L shells of an atom are completely full, then what would be the number of electrons of the atom? That means what? K is the first one. In K only 2 are allowed. In L 8 are allowed. So 8 plus 2, 10 electrons. K plus K is 2. This is K shell. This is the first shell after nucleus. Nucleus consists of protons, positive charge, and electrons consists of negative charge. Always remember, protons positive charge, electrons negative charge. And those who did not watch the Bohr's atomic model, then it is there in my channel, please go and watch, because there I have explained about the Bohr's model, which says that the electrons revolving around the positively charged nucleus. It is very clearly explained in that video. So now this is the first shell after nucleus, K and L. So L, how many are there? 8 are there. So 8. So total electrons of the atom, they ask, this is an atom. So 8 plus 2, 10 electrons. The question is solved. If you still got any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section down below. Now another question. How will you find the valency of chlorine, sulfur and magnesium? Yes, it's very simple actually. Chlorine, sulfur and magnesium. So the first thing is chlorine. What is chlorine? The atomic number of chlorine is 17. How is the atomic number defined? Derived because of the position of the element in the periodic table. The 17th element in the periodic table is chlorine. That is why it got the number 17. So now let's see the structure. This is proton's nucleus. So this is the first shell, second shell, third shell. First shell 2 are allowed, second shell 8 are allowed. So 8 plus 2, 10 over. So another 7 you need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 17 okay. But outermost shell should have an octet, because to attain the stability. Why they want to attain the stability? They want to attain the stability so that they can become less reactive chemically. And each and every atom in this universe wants stability. So that is the reason why this octet configuration and all we are studying. So 17, right? So 7 electrons are there in outermost orbit. So if it gets another 1 electron, then it completes its octet. What is octet? 8 electrons in the outermost shell. What is outermost shell here? Is it the first one or second one or third one? Yes, exactly. The third one is the outermost shell. As you can see with your eye. This is the closest, and this is the second one, and this is the third one. Outermost shell. So outermost shell should have 8 electrons. It has only 7 electrons. So now, is it easier to add 1 electron or to remove all these 7 electrons? Obviously, as I told you in other examples, it is easier to add 1 electron rather than removing 7 electrons. So the valency of chlorine is 1. So now coming to sulfur, sulfur's valency we will be seeing. That is also a very interesting example. So sulfur, what is sulfur? The periodic table position of sulfur 16. Very good. Yes, 16. So this is the positively charged nucleus in the center. This is the first shell. This is the second shell, and this is the third shell. So first shell 2 are allowed, as you all know, because of the 2n² formula. As I have explained in the Bohr's atomic model video, you have to go and watch there. Please don't forget. So this is the 2 electrons and then 8 electrons. So 10 are filled. We need another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually 8 can be accommodated in the outermost one, but here only 6 are accommodated. Is it easier to gain 2 electrons or to lose 6 electrons? Yes, exactly. It is easier to gain 2 electrons. That's why the valency of sulfur is 2. Valency of sulfur is 2. That's how you calculate valency. So let's look at another question. Okay, the valency of magnesium and aluminium is asked. Magnesium is 12 and aluminium is 13. So let's do it. Magnesium is 12. That means 12th position in the periodic table. Now how will you do it? Again, the first shell 2, second shell 8, 9, 10, 8 plus 2, 10, another 2 are needed. So now is it easier to remove these 2 electrons from the outermost orbit or to gain another 6 electrons? Why I am saying another 6 electrons? Because 8 minus 2 is 6 only, right? The outermost should have 8 to get octet. There are 2. Is it easier to add another 6 to become 8 or to lose these 2 so that only these 2 shells will be there? Only these 2 shells will be there. If you lose these 2, only these 2 shells will be there and this third shell will be gone. So we have to lose these 2. Then the valency of magnesium is 2. As you all know, valence is the combining capacity. That's why we say combining capacity. Unless an atom combines with another one, it will be in free state only. So to combine with another atom, if both are having some or the other kind of lack of the octet configuration, they can combine. You cannot combine 2 noble gases like helium and helium He2. It's not possible. Radon, Rn2, it's not possible. Xenon, Xe2, it's not possible. Like radon, helium, argon, krypton, Kr2, these are not possible. Why these are not possible? They are only in the free elemental state. That's because they are having very less chemical reactivity. They cannot react chemically with another one. Why they cannot react? Because they are already having the completely filled octet. That means 8 electrons. For helium, there are only 2 electrons. Why? Because the position of helium in periodic table is 2 only. But still, the first shell of helium, the first shell, 2 are allowed, right? In the second shell, 8 are allowed. Helium only 2 are required and 2 are completely filled. So that's why helium is also stable. It's a noble gas. So magnesium is done, and then now coming to aluminium. Aluminium is 13. You have to remember, as I told you, 2, 8, count this, 8 and 2, 10, 3, another 3 are needed, 1, 2, 3, and see in the outermost shell, 3 electrons are there. Is it easier to add 5 electrons or to remove these 3 electrons? Yes, it is easier to remove these 3 electrons. That's why the valency of aluminium is 3. So this is what is aluminium. By now you must have understood what is valency, what is combining capacity, what are these elements, what are these atoms, and how do we calculate the valency of a given element or an atom. All this you must have understood in this video. So that's all for this today's video. If you want the notes of this full lecture, it is available free in my YouTube channels. Link in the description down below. Please visit and get your free notes. And also in the next class, I will be discussing about atomic mass and atomic number, everything, all the basic terms which are related to atoms. So don't miss the next class. If you like my explanation, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you'll never miss my chemistry classes, because I am uploading each and every day, so you cannot miss a chemistry class. So that's why I'm asking you to subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, please click on the like button. If you did not like this video, you can ask me your doubts in the comment section down below. And if you feel this video very helpful, then please share it to your friends. Thank you very much.